Okay, we have transitioned live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final regular Dooming with me, Dragor. At least for a while. We'll see. But indefinite hiatus starts after today. So we're going to get the last of our fragging in. We're kicking off 2022 with a frag fest. That is when Doom takes place, and some shithead billionaires want to get to Mars, so they want to open a portal to hell and kill us all quickly. In the channel, we have Dr. Q, Cyrus, maybe Zargaz will show up, and our guest, a longtime old friend of mine. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, everyone. How you doing?
So I told everyone, I don't even know if I told you this, but I made a little website page and everything. So I've been introducing you as my mad dog, chaotic archaeologist friend. How accurate is that?
I think that's pretty accurate, yeah.
For those of you who don't know...
We'll see if I can live up to that.
Oh, we know you can. Because you braved and you went to our second first squared ever. If you have ever heard myself or Alkali talk about the MST3K with Torch, the Dungeons & Dragons movie, Chris was there, and Chris got to witness me have to clean up after that mess.
Somehow I wasn't the drunkest person at that event.
You weren't. That was the person that kicked the cop.
Yeah, that is still a pretty impressive metric, seeing as how I had traded in equal volume Schlitz for, was it apple pie?
Yes, so much apple pie. Holy shit. That was Bits apple pie, too.
Yeah, it was especially strong from what I learned after the fact. And kind of deduced when I was hugging the toilet for hour number 2.
Hey, again, you made it back. You were at the porcelain. You were praying to the porcelain god, and you didn't kick a cop. As far as I'm concerned, that is a very successful way of experiencing First Squared. You're not banned. You still get to come back.
Yeah, that just seems like a goal now.
No, you can go get banned from not my event, you bastard. Oh god,
Do you have a list?
See, Bill always threatened me that he was going to show up to First Squared, and I'm like, Bill, I'm not like other people. I will ban you. I will head off the problem at the pass.
Yeah.
How many times have we been out drinking with our friends where we go, this one actually requires following the rules, and this person's so anti-authoritarian, maybe not. I don't know.
That's also valid.
But let us move over to the live channel, and then we're gonna dig into archaeology.
Heyo.
See? Okay. And I'm going to move the other people over, and if they don't want... I've moved the other people over, but if you don't want to be here, you can move yourselves back. But we are now in the live interview portion. So, Chris, we officially met, as far as I'm aware, when I was a freshman at DePaul University, and you were an outgoing senior, but technically we had the option of overlapping and meeting from the same high school. Right? Are you there? Oh, if I broke this by moving Chris over. Oh.
You did.
Oh, I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, there we go. All right. Yeah. So I don't think we actually would have met during high school because I was never held back a year there.
So
I was on my 5th year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we would not have overlapped high school at all.
No, never. I had my 5th nectar. I was 4 1/4 because I did a double major minor.
So what were your majors and minors? Because I don't actually remember. It's been so long since I've talked about actual college stuff with any of y'all.
History and English were my majors, and then I was an anthropology minor, which makes it funny that that's what I got my PhD in.
And, well, that's what you sold me on for wanting to go to First Squared, because you had clearance to ask people questions and interview them.
Yeah, I was interested in the idea that what you talked about furries when you first introduced it to us was as a full-blown culture, and so I wanted to see how that culture played out, like the way the contours of it, how much of it was, what were the rules, what were the core principles, the values, the markers, how all of it fit together, and really interestingly, I enjoyed it.
Did you went to First Squared before you went to any of the furry Halloween parties? Like, was the con your biggest first thing, or did I drag you somewhere else first?
I think I might have met some of your furry friends at your place in impromptu gatherings where costumes did come out, but I think that was my first, like, furry thing.
Got it. Sorry, just doing, like, a couple of admin things, and it seems fine. There's a spammer on the YouTube side, but no one chats on the YouTube side, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. Besides, I'm caught up in killing things, so, you know, I'm good.
Good. So, for the archaeology stuff...
yeah.
I guess there's multiple ways to get there, but when you finally went there for, like, your first actual student thing, you already had been there because of family, right?
Yeah, so this all began because I had a great history advisor. Scott still is teaching at DePaul, funny enough, and so he actually pimps out my courses there too, which is great. But
nice.
So Scott was a great history advisor, and he would just let me hang out in his office and rant about everything that I thought was interesting about his classes and everything else at DePaul. And so one day, I don't know what I said, but he finally just kind of had this moment where he said, "So why don't you want to be an archaeologist?" And my answer was, "I don't know, maybe I should be one." So
true mad dog.
So the moment that was the answer to my question, maybe I should be an archaeologist, the answer of where I wanted to go for that was a given because I am half Peruvian. So, you know, that's my heritage. And I'd seen a lot of the archaeological stuff that was already there, and it was really cool. So it kind of made sense. I wanted to work in Peru, and it panned out. I never regretted that decision.
Some of the earlier memories of sharing we have after, you know, we had done several LAN parties at DePaul and at our various apartments was, you know, we got along and our skills complement each other, especially insofar as I know tech things and you have helped me out many, many times with many very non-tech things. So the request comes...
Yeah, it worked that way.
I basically have a solar charger and one computer for my music. Can you please get me things so I don't go bored? Because there's no internet here.
Yeah, it's true. And I still stay the Luddite and hold on to my day, like my music and stuff. So I never have to worry about that, the internet crapping out on me for that.
I'm trying to figure out what was the number one thing where I went... I'm downloading this for you, Chris, and if it were anyone else, I would hold it against them. What did you have me download? Was it a police procedural? Did you make me download NCIS?
Oh God, no! I would never make you do that. And my main... Oh, there I died. My main thing
Gilmore
was
Girls?
Law and Order. Oh, well, could have been Gilmore Girls.
I think I did download Gilmore Girls for you.
That was definitely something you would have downloaded for me. I don't regret that. Not at all. And that also... It holds up. Like, all the problematic bullshit about it, it was supposed to be problematic.
Well, yes. Okay.
And...
Sorry, I let myself get sidetracked.
About this.
I know. So, all right, you're going to Peru. I almost said Peruvia because I'm just so in it of trying to shoot people with the finger gun here. The finger gun is the yellow one that shoots 3 little explodey missiles, and once you learn how to do it, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, well, I haven't mastered it yet, so...
So what's your difference? Like, how well prepared were you for the actual first dig? Right? Because most of us, when we learn about archaeology, it's not anything related close to archaeology. We learn about Indiana Jones first.
Yeah, so
maybe if you're into dinosaurs, you get to learn about it a little better just because of how that is. So, like, Jurassic Park showing the dig probably has more in line with what you do than Indiana Jones.
Woo. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that was when the History Channel was still kind of good, so you learned a little bit from that. And I had my college courses with an archaeologist beforehand, so I was already geared towards it. So I kind of knew what I was getting into from the get-go, and quite pleased with it, to be honest. So I was excited about the boring shit from the get-go, which kind of helps because there are people that just go in, gee, bastard.
Green goo from behind, baby!
Yeah, I don't know if I want to answer your questions anymore after that one. I just felt a little... feels like you're trying to just distract me.
I mean, I am.
Yeah, it didn't work for me either, so, okay.
Well, so what's one of the boring things that you like? Or, what's a misconception that most other people have where they think the thing is boring, but it in fact is not? So, like, for any of the listeners, you would send me pictures of some of the stuff you found, and a layperson might go, that's a piece of pottery, so fucking what? And then you have this context and story from everything else in the dig where, like, you are able to piece together pretty good estimates of thousands-of-year-old things.
Yeah, so, I mean, the first thing is to like the idea that a simple pot is a form of art. Like, it's not just... You're not just thinking... I mean, when we think about art, especially from a Western European, we think of portrait, sculpture, these great images that depict the life and times of big important people. And kind of once the first thing you learn about South America in particular is that and the ceramics are the art form, and what they reveal isn't just the life and times of great individuals, though you do get that sometimes. It's just more the sense of identity. This is people identify themselves because they had these things. It was something that everyone carried around with them, and it's true about cultures all around the world where the germane materials that you used are cultural signifiers of who you are and who you interact with, and even what you believe in. And so unspooling that right away just made archaeology seem a lot of fun. That an ordinary object like a cooking pot could tell us about a person's political alliance because they come from a village where they make their handles a very specific way, and God forbid you use the other way of making handles because then you're from the other village, which we have to go cleanse next week. So it's... I kind of lost the thread there, didn't I?
No, just the sudden turn to how brutal things were and still are.
Well, I'm trying to shoot you from above, so that does kind of go with where my head's at.
I fired that rocket while midair, and it greeted your face hole, so I'm pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, so slaughtering the village next week then, right?
Exactly. The village of billionaires, right? That's what we're doing? Got to keep our class consciousness going. What's on a dig? So, like... Is the aha moment, is there, like, have you been on a dig where not just you, but the team you're with, there's the energy in the air because you're finding out it's more than another dig, or are all of them special in that way? Like, I'm just trying to get context for...
Yeah.
You're learning about stuff that's been gone, so there's kind of like what you expect to learn and then what's surprising to learn.
Yeah, so, like, here's something that's, like, it does have a big, profound impact that was a really cool moment. So about 10 years, now it's like 15 years ago, I was working on my advisor's site. We'd been digging there for a few months, and it was a temple, and so we're cleaning it up, and we're defining the architecture that was on top of the pyramids of this temple. And when you're digging up artifacts, you want every bucket of dirt that you have, you want to put it through a fine mesh screen just to make sure you don't miss anything that might be too small to spell with naked eye. And so it becomes incredibly boring in a very practical sense of you've got to dig through so much dirt, and if you're not finding anything, then you start to skip buckets. So, we're going every other bucket. And I picked up a bucket, and someone says, yeah, we're going to switch over to every 3 buckets. I said, well, I was already on my way to sift this bucket. May as well do it. So I put the bucket through the screen, and as I'm pulling through it, I pick up this piece of, it's a bead, and it's kind of like coral pink, purple, really lustrous color. And it's spondylus. It's a polished shell that comes from the deep waters in the northern part of Ecuador. So it traveled really far. That was something that you're spending a lot of money to get imported. Think like fine China, if you will, right?
Right.
And so they imported this, and we know that happens. So I mean, sorry, I'm trying to shoot someone in the face. Okay, now I'm dead. So I can get back to the story. Yeah. So spondylus is this highly valuable shell that, when it's polished, becomes just this really gorgeous color. And we know that it gets imported from the northern coast of Ecuador all throughout South America throughout prehistory. But what made this really cool is that this temple was dating to about 1000 BC. And so that's a really early indicator for such a long-distance trade. It, I think, is really cool because you find a cool artifact, and it's not just, oh, cool artifact, but there is something that's telling you about the people who made it. In this case, that they have the trade networks to get really expensive things from really far away, as far back as 3,000 years ago.
And then, just from a practical standpoint, so that came from trade, how long likely was that piece in transit? How many days, weeks, or months did it probably take to get to its new home?
Oof, that's a good question. I'd have to assume in the months, because you are talking, it's probably moving along the coastline for the entirety of its route. So going from valley to valley, you're talking like a 3-4 day trek probably. So yeah, I could see it being a month, maybe 2 months.
That
kind
is
of fun
pretty
to test out.
Cool. Oh my god. Not my turn to get fucking frenzied. So many bots, so many bodies. Oh, by the way, to you and anyone else, if you get fragged repeatedly by DooMpunk YT, he is the best person that shows up regularly to this, so don't feel too bad.
I ain't feeling bad about being fragged in this. That's part of the fun.
But, so that's cool. Yeah, just by pure, well, I'm already holding this bucket. Because, when you kept going on that dig, did you then, kind of find out if you skipped that bucket, you wouldn't have learned that? Or was it going to show up, just maybe a shit ton later?
Nah, I mean, that's a fluke thing, and you have to wonder how many of those spondylus beads there would have been there in the first place. Probably infinitely few, and so... Okay, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever said. Hang on, let me just shotgun my way back to coherence. All right. So, I mean, that's a really fluky thing. There might have been maybe a dozen of those beads at the site in its existence, but you don't know. And so, to find one's a big deal, and we could have missed out on that. And so, it's not something that like matters in the grand scheme of things of, oh, because we didn't know this, we would have found it out. We kind of knew that this type of long distance trade existed that as far back as 3,000 years ago, but to have that tangible proof and have it at your site really gives you that connection.
It turns it from estimation to like, well, we don't know exactly how it got here, but it is here. We know for a fact it made it here, and it's from all the way over here.
Yeah, exactly.
What I've always kind of wanted to ask is, so you have all of these little pieces, both figuratively and literally.
Literally,
you know, it's not the digital age where we can just increasingly go look and read at what happened. So you're having to kind of learn the language of literal geological history to make sense of it. So what's like, you're going through archaeology. You decide you want to do this. You like this stuff. What's something that goes against intuition, I guess, in terms of how that stuff operates or how you piece together a story? What's a mistake you see a layperson making a lot when you see people interact with your domain?
I guess I would say the biggest misconception is that everything has to be big, auspicious, and profound. Like, sometimes it's the mundane stuff because, you know, we live mundane lives. And so I would, sorry, just got knocked out of that thought, literally by a rocket. But so, like, I always like to say I like the boring shit, and in this case, when I say the boring shit, like, it's that people live normal lives. And there was one time, like, to kind of underline this, I was doing a survey, and so to go and find where these sites are located, I need to cut through farm fields and such. And so I'm going through this farm field, and I bump into a bunch of guys who are harvesting tomatoes. They say, "Oh, good, I was looking for you guys. I need to cross through your field, hop over this fence to get onto the other side of the mountain where there's an archaeological site that I want to see." And they said, "Oh, no, there's no archaeological sites here." And they were being really coy about this because they were like, a common misconception in Peru is that archaeologists, if they find a site, then that means that they're going to take your land away and you lose your livelihood.
Oh.
So that might be one of the bigger misconceptions also, that finding an archaeological site means that the government's just going to take everything away. Never going to happen. But so I'm telling these farmers, yeah, I just need your permission to cross over this site, to cross over your land and go see the site. And they say, no sites here. No, you're mistaken. And I say, no. I mean, look at those terraces up on the side of the mountain. Those are ancient terraces. And the guy says, no, those are just, the terraces that we made. You made those terraces? Yeah, we made the terraces. And so I ask, okay, so what'd you make the terraces for? Use the terraces for? Did you use them to dry chili peppers? I've seen a lot of peppers on those. He goes, yeah, that's exactly what we do. And I said, yeah, I just told you that because everyone does that. But let's be honest, you didn't make the terraces. They're about 1,000 years old, and they just kind of gave me this look like, what? And I said, all right, look, I'm an archaeologist. I've seen those types of terraces before. They're everywhere on this valley, the whole region. And right over there, I see some architecture, and that's probably a village. And they look at me like, no, definitely not a village. And I said, all right, let's just be real. No one gives a shit about that site. No one at all. I barely give a crap about it. I just want to record it because I just want to put it there on a map so that way it can, show the whole network for where the site people live. But that's the thing. That's really cool because this little site was just a small farming community just like yours, only 1,000 years old. So 1,000 years ago, there were a bunch of random dudes who were doing just like you are, harvesting tomatoes probably, and that was it. And so I just want to collect this data points. That way we know that there were farmers just like you 1,000 years ago living on this very spot. And the guys just thought about it. They're like, so just this immediate connection for them. They just had this moment where they thought, that's mundane, normal shit, but that's our life, and that was life 1,000 years ago. It connected with them, and so they just were like, that's awesome. And we had a cool chat for a while, hung out. They gave me some free tomatoes, and then I went on my merry way.
And you're doing all of this not in English.
No, I was just talking to them in Spanish. My Spanish is pretty terrible, though, so...
Do you have a sense for your Spanish while in Peru compared to a Peruvian's English in America? Like, do you have a rough... Because don't you also do some translations for some people as, like, favors here and there? So, like, you can't be the worst. You're clearly able to convey meaning.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've seen people who really just struggle with language, but I mean, come on, Riley, you've known me for ages. Like, I'm a rather deprecating person, so am I ever going to give myself credit for being the incarnation of Gabriel Garcia Marquez?
Okay,
yeah,
well then let's ask the question in a different way. What are some of the shenanigans your language skills allowed you to get up to? And I don't mean just crossing through a field and getting some tomatoes. Because you're not always on a dig there. You're living there. You have...
Yeah.
How does... When you're winding down after a dig, how does that differ than, you know, we go to a bar here? Because you were in some interesting locations.
Yeah, I mean, I can hang out at a bar. I always like to joke that my Spanish was my Spanish was just gutter enough to get by from living there. So, okay, so you want? Oh, I know the story to tell it now. So, I don't think I've told you this one either. But one time when I was in grad school, me and a colleague needed to go to. We needed to go to the Air Force had the National Center of Geography, and so they had this place where you could buy all the surveyor maps, like think the USGS, but more analog, because you have to go specifically to them to get the nice prints of these maps to locate where your sites are going to be. And so to get there, it was a really short bus ride from my grandparents, my abuelos. And so I told my buddy, yeah, just come to my grandparents' place at this time, and then we'll go up together because I need to get some maps too. So, you know, it's going to be a fun nerd afternoon. It was, you know, much fun as buying maps as ever is. And so he meets up at my place, and we hop on the bus. So we're sitting in the back of the bus, which... in Peru at this time, these are minivans, which have been filled with smaller seats. That way you can fill... I mean, if you're feeling really ambitious and want standing room, I've seen a record of like 15 people in a single minivan.
Oh, dang.
Not including the driver or the guy who's collecting money. So we're sitting in the back of the minivan, and we're talking in English about just... whatever we were talking about, and the guy who collects money comes up to us and he says, all right, where you going? And I said, we're going to Guardia Civil. That's the stop. He says, and I give him $2 effectively, 2 coins, and he says, no, you have to give me more. And I said, no, from this, like, República de Panama Street to Guardia Civil, it is 1. He says, no, the fee went up. And he said, oh, really? When did the fee go up? And he said, last week. I said, last week I was on the bus 2 days ago. Are you saying it changed yesterday? He goes, oh yeah, it changed yesterday. It's now $2.40 instead of $2. And at this point, I don't care about the money. This is more the principle of go fuck yourself. And my friend says, what's going on? I said, he's basically trying to overcharge us. And I said, so if you're going to charge us that, then we're just going to hop off now and we'll just walk the rest away. And my friend says, wait, what? I said, he's charging us $2.40 and I'm not going to do it. And he says, the guy says, yeah, it's $2.40. And finally the guy sitting right in front of us just snaps. He says, no, that's not okay. And he points the guy who's collecting the money. He says, you give Peruvians a bad name. These two young Americans, they're being honest. They speak Spanish. They know that you're trying to cheat them, and you're still trying to do this, and you're just making us all look really stupid and corrupt. I cannot stand this. They charge exactly 2. And completely cowed, the collector guy just says, yeah, it's going to be 2.
Wow.
And the guy says, and are you going to apologize? And the guy goes, yeah, I'm sorry for the confusion.
There you go, kids. If you even make an attempt at knowing the language, it will get you far.
Oh, and that's not counting my French. That actually is pretty terrible French, and that what works in my favor, I think. Remember when I used to travel to France all that time? The French loved the fact that I couldn't speak the language. I was like a dog with peanut butter stuck through the mouth.
That everyone gathers like, wait, watch, he's gonna try again.
I got free food at patisserie, not patisseries. Yeah, what's the word for bakery there?
I think it is right. Patisserie. Look, I'm just saying words I've heard from Great British Bake Off, which has a lot of French stuff in it, so that's my level of knowledge.
Yeah, my French is just very limited and very poorly pronounced. So it's that du facto that just, really promotes French superiority. Superiority.
No, superiority. I like it. We've added it to the list of new words. You heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks. Superiority. Where's our Merriam-Webster? Are you listening in? Make it your word of the year for 2022. We got it. We're done. We don't need any more new words for 2022. No, that's where this is going. I'm going to make it terrible. Superiority is the next name of the COVID variant strain that comes out.
I could live with that.
Sudir says patisserie correct. So we actually got that. Hooray. And by we, I mean you got that. Oh.
But patisserie's not the patisserie's different that's where you get your delicious baked goods. I don't think it's the place where you also get your bread. That's the part that I'm confusing myself on.
I don't know. So one of the other things I wanted to ask about on the flip side to this, which you've kind of mentioned a little bit, is you also teach at DePaul.
Yeah.
And you...
I was like, call it my karma.
Yeah. You asked me years ago at some point, it took a couple of discussions before I understood what you were asking for, but you had a very interesting approach to how you do archaeology labs in class.
Yeah.
And you specifically asked me a couple of times, like, through the context of a role-playing game, I want to run this by you. And I had never, I went to DePaul University. Obviously, I didn't do archaeology classes, but I had never essentially had what I would call an educational session of a role-playing game as a lab in a class. So, could you go, break that down a little bit and, explain
totally.
what that means?
Yeah, so when I moved back to Chicago and got a job at DePaul, which when I say it's my karma, I mean that in the best way possible because they did good to me when I was a student, so I tried to do good for all my students in return. But I was assigned to teach our archaeology lab classes, and I taught lab classes before in grad school where we actually had active dig sites that that professors were doing in Connecticut. So we were on site, we had access to artifacts that could then be washed and analyzed, and you're good to go.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have that for DePaul. We didn't have, there was the field school class, but that was different from what this was going to be, which was lab class for non-majors. And there's only so much you can really, there's only so many parts to an archaeological site or even facsimile activities you can do that really get to that, but for a non-major, because it's either you're not doing it or you're really committing to doing a lot. So what I decided to come up with my own archaeological sites, except they were going to be completely on paper. So it'd be like if you had the field report for your own excavations. So instead of the artifacts, you just had all your notes. And so that's what I like to joke is archaeology Dungeons and Dragons edition. You've just excavated a site. Here's your data. How do you interpret it? And so that's what we do each week. Like, there's a different component to it. So first you do survey, and I give all the students a map of a fictional valley on the central coast of Peru. So it's real geography, but I created all the sites myself.
Real quick, so when you say you made a map, like, you're using a particular software. Like, it looks like... This isn't like a Dungeons and Dragons map where there's a bunch of shitty PNGs all over the place. Like, you're using real GIS software.
Yeah, I use ArcGIS for all of this. In fact, I probably use ArcGIS for... I also do use that for my profile drawings, which is just... I'm weird. But, so I made all my maps on ArcGIS. And I used a real valley in the coast of Peru, the Chion Valley, which is just on the north side of Lima. But then I call it the Marvelosa Valley, and there are someone behind me. But there are 101 archaeological sites that I put into this landscape, and each one of them has their own crazy backstory based on real archaeological data that comes from other sites. So let's say, first of all, you've got settlement patterns, surveyed archaeology. You have the map of the whole valley, and you can look how the sites are distributed, and you'd notice that it's kind of like it's just a standard settlement pattern, I would say. Like, my big influences for that was Gordon Willie's work in the Veru Valley and David Wilson's Danta Valley survey, and then Donald Proulx did Nepena, which, I mean, like, these are the three big surveys of the valleys on the north coast of Peru, and the rough distribution of sites from them just kind of informed how I placed mine all throughout the valley. But then individual sites each have their own aspect as well. So each site has a catalog number with the acronym MARV. So MARV stands for the Marvelosa Archaeological Research Valley, and each site then some of them have names. True to life, not every archaeological site is going to get its own creative nickname because there's only so much creativity you have when you're wandering through the desert for hours. But so, like, Marv 1. Marv 1 is Puerto Espinoso, and that site is really closely modeled on Ancon, which is the site which it's actually just north of Lima, and I think it might be pretty close to where Marv 1 is located on the map. But so, like, the excavations that were done there by a bunch of people, especially Ramiro Matos and Hermelio Rosas, like that, I looked at that data a lot, and then I just kind of made the site's excavations reflect that similar occupation. So each that gets us to our excavation lab. So you get these maps that show these drawings that show you each layer of excavation from where you would have put your pits in. So
when you say your pits, like the pits or pins?
Excavation units. Pits. Holes around.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So first off, it would be survey data. So all the students would have their chance. Sorry, I want to rewind that a little bit because I didn't explain it all the way through. But so the first lab students have to say, well, I think these sites are distributed this way, and that tells us that this was a kingdom, or that this temple was traded with this other temple. And so at the end of that, I say, okay, so if you just surveyed, you would then want to excavate. So what sites would you all want to excavate? And students usually pick the sites that are already predetermined for excavation. If you think about this in terms of an RPG and a role-playing game, well, there's going to be a little bit of railroading. So every students get to pick their sites, but then an NPC, in this case, the person running the the organization that gave them their grants, blew away all their money, and so they have to go work on someone else's project, and that's where they get to excavate. So then from the excavation, they get the drawings that represent all the layers that they would have encountered in the pits that they dug up, each excavation unit. And then based on all those layers and the artifacts they find, then I want them to interpret what they see. So if this was your archaeological site, which you were researching, what would you publish as your interpretation? What's the big takeaways?
Got it. I mean, it's really cool. And if more classes were more interactive like that, and instead of do all of this reading, now answer a 100 multiple choice question test, like which of these is more engaging?
That's what I hope for, you know? And I always tell my students that I consider it a successful quarter if someone comes up with an interpretation that I didn't design into the lab. I mean, I made them open enough that I could think of a couple of ways that people should have interpreted the data. I also left it open enough that there were other options. And students will surprise you and come up with those other options all the time.
Have you had the closing the loop, one of your students that surprised you goes on a dig and comes back and has a fun story for you?
I haven't. That's mostly because all my students are non-majors.
Oh, you said that already. So they're not the types that are likely to... You are the one who goes on the digs and comes back with stories.
Yeah. But, I have had a couple of students that would reach out to me after the fact, like one student who did go visit an archaeological site that immediately, like, so spring quarter, then goes on summer vacation. I saw this and it made me think of a class. Thank you so much. And then that's it.
Sweet. I like it. All right, we're going to do a quick mode change here. We're going to turn it on to Instagib. Railguns. One shot and you're dead. So hang on, I'm going to restart the search. You don't have to do anything.
Oh. I had a buzzsaw.
Oh, that's fine. That you can still have that. All right, here's hoping it worked.
All right.
Pick a lighter, faster character for this one if you like. And
I don't have any guns.
You should just have the green railgun, and that is all you need. Do you?
But I'm not shooting.
You haven't joined yet. You have to hit spacebar and join. You are spectating.
Now I got it.
Now you're in. Oh no, I ruined it. I'm sorry. Fuck. I went to do up arrow and add bot, but the last command was the map change command, so I fucked up. So you will have to, once it reloads, you will have to join again. Sorry about that. Oh, right, I did turn off crouching finally. Or it's rebound. I don't know. Are you back in, or did it completely crash on you?
I'm not in at all. It completely kept me out.
You should quit and then double-click the server again, and then rejoin, and it should all be happy. You have all these files. It's just I probably changed the server too quickly.
Okay. Yep.
Aww. All right, you're in. So now I can add bot. No, I did it again. Fuck me sideways. Wow, I really am ending today, huh? Oh my gosh. Okay. I am joining. I am in the damn game. Everyone is in. Bots are in. Oh my goodness. Finally. There we go. Okay. That was very unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Sweet, final shot killed someone.
Yay! Yeah. How many hours did we play this in college at our various LANs?
Too many.
No such thing as too many, but there you go. I will agree with you on the not enough.
It's a little bit of both, you know?
So we can talk more on, if you want to. I asked a bunch of the things I wanted any potential listener folks to follow up on. We also, speaking of tabletop games, we play together in a Rifts game.
Yeah, we do.
So, a mutual Chicago friend of ours runs this game, and not only does he run the game, he's been running it for basically 15 years. When did you first join the game?
I joined 3 years ago.
Oh, it is 2022. It is 3 years now. Holy shit.
Well, not quite. I think I joined in April, but so we're getting into my third year with Johnny.
So real quick, the game system is Rifts, which is Palladium, and yes, it is that one with the weird, inconsistent rules.
Rules.
We do it as play-by-post, so we are on an old PHP BB forum installation, and that's how we're playing the game. I used to do play-by-post
stuff
in high school and a little bit of college, actually, and then I hadn't touched it since y'all spent years trying to get me. Brian tried to get me to join, like, not long after we met, and then you ended up joining before me, like 2.5, 3 years ago. And then finally, early last year during lockdown, I basically said, well, I might as well.
Which is true fact.
Yeah. So we've been playing that. You've played Nazcrag with me. You've played
several times.
Yeah, you've played Nazcrag several times, which is more Dungeons and Dragons based. You ran a one-shot. Oh my god, I'm blanking out on the name of it. Cyberpunk.
Shadowrun.
You ran a one-shot. I think that was the first game you've ever run, right?
I wanted to make that an ongoing, but no one would could maintain their character. Remember?
Well, the curse of in-person groups and scheduling has been going on since before you or I were born.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the play-by-post stuff. It's more amenable to life happening.
And also, the time requirements surprisingly lax if you get into a good groove with it.
That is what I'm learning. You know, I am a professional procrastinator. I don't know how much you have that affliction, but I certainly do. And
ask me how many of the armors I paid for. Yeah, I still need to finish updating my equipment from the shop, but
So, okay. So Brian makes the pitch of Rifts to you. You've done some gaming, you've done, computer RPGs and such, so you're not, like, a total noob. What's,
Nah, but I was...
Because Johnny was the first character you made and the longest character you've had, right?
Yeah. One is... So my character's actual name is Juan Echo. Named him after my favorite previous rock band. Well, one of them. But we call him Johnny for short.
Johnny for short, and a dramatic a la Star Trek II, when Johnny has been Johnny to 11.
What he's designed for.
What?
I love that meme, by the way. That I think that was Eric who made it.
Eric plays a Minotaur chef battle priest
named Icky.
Chef Icky. Was it supposed to be Chief Icky and then just Chef happened, or was it Chef always because of the food obsession?
It was always Chef Icky, but I think it's a riff on Chief.
So what was like What was your moment where you're like, okay, I'm in it to win it for this play-by-post stuff? Because you also have another character and you run a game.
I've got three characters, actually. I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked it from the get-go. It's just personal enough that, you know, if you're invested in playing the game, you're invested, but it's also not so overbearing and tedious that if you don't, you can do a lot with it. It's the buy-in's pretty easy. I find. I think it was just a natural fit for me, and also, I mean, whenever I do an RPG like this, I have to like my character a lot. And what our friend Brian said when he was giving this setup, running me through all the different options, he says, well, why don't you play, you could play Godling? And I said, like a god. He goes, yes, except for this setting, because it's Phase World, you cannot do anything based on Earth. So it's like, so I can't do the Greeks or the Romans. He goes, well, sort of you could, but it's hard because da-da-da-da-da. I was like, okay. So I'd have to come up with my math, and he said, yes. And he kind of panicked at that, but that was also what sold me on, I'm doing this. I'm in it because I'm going to come up with a pantheon. It's going to be as fucked up as I can make it. And yeah, that was it. That was, for me, the moment I knew I wanted.
So what's the name of your pantheon?
They call the Ayamama.
And
that's
what
actually
and what is the system of ranking of deities?
Yeah, so this actually takes a lot of unpacking.
Yeah, but what's the name of it for everyone listening? If someone wants to find out about a deity, what's the name of the thing they go to check?
Oh, the rated deity thing. Well, that's separate from the pantheon. That just came up. I came up with an idea when I was drunk.
I know, but that's a lot of, like, you do realize that's canon and baked in now. That's been in several GM posts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that I'm also really proud of. But yeah, so my thought, so approaching the Yayamama pantheon, I came up with the idea that, well, if I'm have my own pantheon, there's got to be a lot of them in the 3 galaxies, like hundreds or thousands of pantheons, because why the fuck not? So naturally, if you want to figure out if your god's legit, you need like a Yelp system of gods, deities. So this is rated deity. That's what it's for. If you hear someone's claiming to be a god, you can go look them up on rated deities, see what they're scored, and then determine if they're legitimate or not. So yeah. Hey, Juan is very respectable, rated a 5.3 out of 10 there. So that's pretty good. Especially for his pantheon, because the Yayamama are absolute trash, and Johnny is the most highly respectable deity of them all.
King of the trash yard?
Not you. Oh, yeah. I mean, also my 5-second pitch on what is Juan Echo. He's basically Floorman Thor.
Right now, we're having a whole bunch of fun because we're in basically an unethical, executive, crazy money casino being a whole bunch of nerds. And the number one thing that, like, any GM essentially learns early on is, well, yeah, you're going to have your big epic stuff, but your character growth moments usually comes after almost everyone almost dies. Or does die, if you're us.
Oh, God. Time loop shit.
So, yeah. So, you know, we're coming off of our own little version of a time loop story. And every character in this casino essentially has been a little less restrained than when I first joined this game. And it's just like, the stakes are low for now. I'm sure Brian's going to do something mean to us in a week or two. What's our GM's signature in the posts? Why kill a character when you can make them suffer?
Yep. That is Brian's MO.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we are about at an hour, so we're going to hop over to the general chat and see if any of the other folks that have been listening in have any questions, or just kind of general hangout and nerd out. So I'm going to do that now.
Cool.
Hello. Do people hear? Chris, are you there? I do find this fascinating. Cyrus? Gray Foxen? Q? Excuse me.
Oh, wait, my microphone was off.
Aha! It does work! Pepper just said an uh-oh, as I'm like, anyone? There we go.
For questions, I have none because I was not here for, like, the first 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I can't
Doom
forget
Punk
what
serving
day it was.
humble pie on this last episode.
Last episode?
This is the final Doom until an indefinite hiatus. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm probably going to leave this server up just to hop on and experiment with. But, like, this game, this style of server, all of these mods, they are free and open. Anyone can fire up Doom Seeker, see who's playing on random servers, and if they're not password protected, join in. I have been doing that a lot, actually. That's like, you know, for 30 minutes to an hour, I will, after work, wind down, find who's on a random server, and join in. Sometimes I'll pick an empty server, and I'll just hang out until someone shows up. So it's all been cool. It's all done, basically, with volunteer time. The source, both figurative and literal, of this was created by id Software, John Carmack, John Romero, Tom Hall, and all those people. Maybe Tom Hall wasn't there yet. I don't remember all my id history that well. But, John Carmack always was someone who made use of and enjoyed and supported open source software. So once they were done making money off of Doom and they moved on to their next game, they open sourced the engine. And that is how we are playing what we are playing today, some 25 odd years later. It's all really cool. That was a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
So wait, are you just going to not stream on Sundays anymore?
As of right now, I have no regular plans to stream outside of things I happen to announce. There is nothing regular on the schedule or calendar other than, since I don't... Chris, if you can hear me, we cannot hear you. In fact, I'm going to send you a telegram just in case.
And there I got my first kill on Dragger this match.
Okay, I sent a message to Chris. Chris is still in the Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Now that fixed. I had to click on my Discord, apparently.
Weird.
Yeah. I was also being really quiet. I had nothing to say at this point.
That's okay. But yeah, the only regular thing that I am doing as of right now is approximately, and pretty regularly, every other week, Pepper Coyote and I are recording Last Minute Politics, which is basically not just anti-capitalist, but pretty much pro-socialist, communism, what have you. There's more of us than them. Fuck them. Take what they have by force. And then on the off weeks of that, we're doing what we call, jokingly, Bible study, where we read all of the theory that we weren't actually ever taught, and then making decisions for ourselves. Also, doing it in group context when reading stuff written in the 1800s makes deciphering that shit, 1, easier, and 2, more fun when in a group.
Ooh, that does sound like fun.
If you want to join for one, Chris, I know you were making fun of when I said we were reading, what was it, the Communist Manifesto? You're damn right we're reading it. It's theory. You gotta read it before you can make an opinion about it.
Book, though.
What, Chris?
Well, it's a terrible book.
Anything that makes someone go, there is more of us than them, is good in my book.
I have read better tracks on the subject, is what I'm saying.
We are currently going through and reading some selected chapters because we're not doing the whole thing from State
Capital?
and I don't have it in front of me, and I'm trying to frag. This is not good for me. Whatever. We're reading more commie shit. And it's kind of astounding how much it applies to today. And then there's the parts that aggressively do not. Like, oh, this quite literally was written about farmers in the late 1800s. It is not the same anymore. And then there are parts that are. The bourgeoisie will continue to try to accumulate wealth and power, even when you might think they should be sated. Yeah, that applies. But yeah, those are the regular things I'm going to be doing. Convention stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to some things that I thought I was going to because of Omicron spiking. But First Squared is still slated to happen Easter weekend in April. And by then, either there's going to be another booster or this wave will have finally calmed the fuck down.
Hopefully both.
Yeah, right?
Jesus Christ. I am getting gunned every place I spawn, like 3
Doom
seconds tops.
Yeah, Doom Punk is like that.
Did you guys do a full round of normal before going to this?
Yes.
Aw.
We only just switched to Instagib.
It's probably round 4.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Now I'm
just
kind of sad that I missed out on the normal part since I won't. Well, since no one's gonna be doing this anymore. Well,
yeah, the intent is with some planning, I will do some of these here and there and like actually have it announced and everything lined up and ready to go. But the weekly portion has been a bit much for a little while now. So it is on hiatus, and I hope to bring it back. It might not be Doom, it might be a different game. Hey, pie in the sky. I bring it back when it's a mod I have made or levels I have made. There is also the Doom Mario Kart mod. Like, I'm sure I'm going to be busting that out again. And then Doomware. Chris, I still want to introduce this to you in the group sometime. But it's multiplayer, fast-paced mini-games. And then you're trying... It's basically... Yeah, it's Mario Party. Have you ever played WarioWare? I don't think you have.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I played WarioWare.
Yeah, so someone made a 100 minigame Doom mod for this, like what we're playing now, and you can play with 12 people, and it's great. Made by Boo, B-U-U. Oh my God, my tongue-tied is so fantastic today. BUU342 is the name of the person who made Doomware. But yeah, I'll do some special events here and there. Technically, we never did get, due to life happening, we never got to do the big Basement Con Doom event. So, like, I fully expect one of those to happen. And there's other games. I love Terraria, and I want to do a little bit more open group server. I've always wanted to experiment with that. Whether or not that turns into any regular streaming, I don't know.
I'm in for trying that. I haven't played Terraria all that much.
Then you should totally play with me when I start a new map and server, because that's...
Yeah.
They released a whole bunch of updates, and my brother and I started playing, and we got, like, a little over halfway through, and then we kind of dropped off, so there's a lot of content that they added with the latest release that I never got to. So technically, like, the quote-unquote final version of that game, they're not doing any more big updates, is done.
Yeah?
So that game is unfinished by my standards. And obviously, if we end up playing again, we will be playing in what I call day job friendly mode. Chris, how aware are you of, like, Minecraft or Terraria and, like, the building and resource part of it?
So Terraria looks a lot like a game I did play a few years back, Spelunky. So
I don't.
Not Spelunky. what was it?
Starbound? No.
Starbound. Yes.
Okay, so
Starbound.
yes, then you are equipped to play Terraria just fine.
Yeah, that's why it's on my it's in my Steam library.
Sweet. Then we will make that happen. I'll get the server and backup stuff set up and going, and I will let you know. And for anyone else who is curious and or wants to join, I will tweet about it. And in theory, I'm going to continue to use, let's see, I think my hands are still moving. It's up above. The website, dragor.me, except, use a period instead of the word dot. But that's the website. That's where I'm going to announce and continue to archive stuff. And my Twitter. That is where the majority of this stuff gets announced. And I guess I'll continue to announce it in Drag It Show, Boozy Chat, and Foxes and Peppers as long as they let me. So yeah, Chris, this is what we've been doing. This was my lockdown project, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, that it lasted this long.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yay, I fragged DooM Punk! Yay! Yay!
My only kills this match have been DooM Punk.
Well, when DooM Punk is
the,
fragging almost everyone else, he's the only living, moving target.
I got first blood on this map.
Yeah!
I'm just
Yeah, I
getting
got
shot
it.
everywhere.
Technically, DooM Punk is the one guest that, I do want to set up at some point as, one of the special editions, just because of how much he wrecked us, but when I originally made that offer, that was at the time where, my ability to coordinate and plan far enough out was starting to fall apart, unfortunately. Gee, go figure. It's easier to plan a weekly streaming show with guests when there's literally fuck all to do. Because, Chris, we hung out in the Chicago crew, but there were several times where, due to just life needs or, someone's, Chris might be fine, but, your partner, so you and your partner go do a thing, and then that's 2 weeks where I'm it's pre-vaccine, I'm not risking it. So, I didn't see people that Chris, we've known each other since 2004, and this is the longest I've gone outside of you being in Peru where I couldn't see you.
Wow, that has been quite a while then.
Yeah, I
Finally
kind of
got someone.
I got very used to the fact that once you came back to Chicago, we would hang out regularly, and then pandemic. Fuck.
We had several good years of that though before the pandemic though. It's
Well,
not like it
and-
just got back to Chicago.
Yeah, and now that we're all vaccinated and boosted, our COVID bubble is a little bit more extended. We do see each other regularly. I got to spend New Year's with y'all because we were
By the way, we still have your
Mushroom
your,
Wellington.
yes, I do.
I
And
tweeted
also
out.
we have your box.
Wait, box?
Your joint box.
I did leave that? Bad me.
Wait, a fox?
I got it.
I left good food and other good green things at Chris's, and I am very appreciative that they will very likely be returned to me.
Yeah, we just need to coordinate a time for you to come by and grab it.
We'll figure it out. But, Chris, if you want to take another one of those joints in there, by all means, as being a protector of the box, you get access.
All right. Sounds good.
Wow, Doom's just saying they're sniping from that position.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Back in the day, there were some railgun servers I was on, especially in Quake 2, Quake 3 era, where they would have 2-second timers, and if you didn't move from a wide enough area in 2 seconds, it just fucking fragged you. That was their anti-camping. You couldn't even strafe back and forth quickly to avoid it. You had to leave entire sectors, otherwise it was going to kill your ass. Oh, it was great, because no one could spawn camp. It was impossible.
Well, unless they just have, the refreshers and know where the spawns are. Well,
I actually got
Alrighty.
positive numbers there. Sweet.
Yeah.
I did definitely fell in that acid.
I did one.
Plurality times.
All right.
All right.
I think.
I'm gonna get out because we do have leftover Wellington that we need to make for dinner.
Do it. Yeah, I tweeted out pictures of what you made, Chris, and the internet approves.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm happy to hear that.
I cannot get the draw on Doompunk at all.
Nope. I'll chase him
Alright.
invisibly, and he'll just
All right,
know where
Chris,
I am.
thank you so much for showing
My
up. I'm glad we
pleasure.
got to frag again. We'll do this offline more, and Doomware will happen. Take care. Merry New Year.
We'll coordinate about the Wellington and also some of the other streaming stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Ciao.
Bye.
uh-oh.
Alrighty. I'm gonna play at least one or two more. Actually, how many of us are playing this? I'll save it for another day. I think I'll do one more map after this one. And then that will be it, folks.
Okay.
And as usual, if other people are putting together Doom or first-person shooter stuff, I'll play. But me doing showrunner stuff on a regular schedule outside of last-minute politics is at a little bit of a hiatus. Unless like a dump truck of money falls in my lap and I don't have to have a day job, then I'll bring this shit back right away.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But I'm not counting on that happening. I have 5 frags. 5.
I have 1.
Well, and the
Three.
one you got was First Blood on Doompunk, so like...
Not on this one. Not on this one. He had 10 frags before I got one.
Oh.
I think he had 10 before anyone got one.
Oh, no.
I
Here,
got 2.
Let's add some bots for him to shoot. I always
Well, I
add
think-
bots thinking I'm gonna shoot them, and then, I don't.
Yeah, the map's just really big, and it's really easy to run into him.
I really like the thing not having bots because then he kept confusing my clones for me.
I mean, I think on this map, bots are nice because of just sheerly how big it is.
Yeah, not all of these maps are made with the same, like, ideal player counts. Some of them are literally meant for, don't have more than 4 people, it's too crowded.
I think that's the first time I managed to actually confuse him invisibly.
I have gotten a couple of frags on him when he was invisible, and I just guessed right.
Yeah,
I just keep duping him. Like, I just go around the corner, wait like half a second, and shoot him as he comes around it.
Oh, yeah, and then, do that even more. Like,
I mean,
go
that's how I
hunting
get
for
most
him.
of you. That's why I hang out by corners all the time.
Oh. See, I'm at least, like, double digits. See, this is why I added bots, so I can get frags.
You should feel good.
so any of us can, other than Doompunk.
I'm at 23.
I'd probably still be on 3 kills. I'm at 12. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, that he got me. Never mind.
Ooh. Dun 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 boop. Some of these text messages have internet lingo that's been updated over the past 10 years. It's pretty great.
Huh.
Although I guess this mod came out, 4 years ago? So it's not that surprising. Alright, you Neo-looking
Crap, I
fuck. Hold still so I can rail you. Ah, butts! I spent so
Rail
long
the
trying to
butt.
frag one person, and then Doompunk almost doubled my score again.
Yeah. He's good at that.
I do like that this one bot's name is Crabcore. Like, it makes me want to steal that name and use it out on... Sudir laughing. Ah, butts. All right, I'm going to put it to QCME. One more jumpy bullshit for our sign-off.
Yay.
And then this time, I'm going to add bot. I'm going to type add bot instead of resetting the map like 4,000 fucking times. How about that? All right, everyone's in. All right, bots are in.
That's what you get for staying still, Doom bot YouTube guy.
I am at -1. I am a ding-dong. Wow, I threaded the needle. There were 4 freaking people, and I missed every single one of them. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh my god, why can't we shoot him?
Well, we keep going after each other instead of just...
You know what I
Yeah.
did? I switched to the blade and then I shot him, and then Cyrus did the same damn thing to me.
We had the same idea, you just got to him first.
Where does he even get me from?
If he sees so much as 1 pixel of hitbox, he can get you.
I wonder, like, what if we actually put him against an actual aimbot? I wonder if he would still win. He would probably still win.
I don't know how good the bots are in this engine, honestly.
No, I mean, like, if we made that aimbot.
Well,
Depends
eat
on the
bees,
settings.
Cyrus. Did you survive that?
Yes, I did.
Well, double plus eat bees then.
Bees.
Hey, got him. See, that's all this has turned into. It's just, if you get him, that's good enough.
Yeah. Well, that was the original mission statement of the curiosity of asking to be a guest. If I have him talking, can he still do this? Because I know my skill gets better when I shut up. Am I gonna
Like, he
cross?
supposedly has a YouTube, right?
Yeah, not supposedly. He does.
Like, I wonder if any of our streams are on there with him just narrating to himself about how he's kicking our asses.
I don't think so. I don't know why I was sitting there looking like a dir in the headlights, but that's what I
Oh.
did, I guess.
I missed the jump pad.
Argon. Argon.
I do wonder how much I'm screwing myself over by
up on
my
that
mouse
platform?
being wireless. Oh, that nailhead was real. Whoops. There's another person that's the clone, not clone, but decoy. And I thought I was looking at a decoy, and then they shot me. All right, can I get to 30 before this is up? Yeah. Ah, damn it, Cyrus.
Well, you got me at least. Not that that's terribly easy. I meant hard. I meant hard.
Not bones.
Crap.
No, I tried switching to the blade, but then
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
heard
you're
it.
technically faster than me. All right, I have a minute to get one more frag. I can do this. Oh no, not if it gets stolen. 30. I just want
Dragger.
30.
Bye,
Yeah, yeah.
See if I can get
To
15.
be perfectly honest, I was trying to find you so you could kill me. Considering it's the last match of the last game.
Yay! I went Doom Punk hunting and completed the score. While he got 5 more frags in that time span.
He missed me twice, standing directly behind me when I was sniping, and I didn't even notice him until he missed the second shot.
Oh, how did I miss you on that jump pad, butts? There we go. All right, folks. Thank you to everyone. Thank Grey Foxen, Cyrus, Doompunk, Sudir, Zoran, Pepper, Benny. Who else? We got Dr. Q, Zargaz, Alkali, Zanny, Boozy, QM, everyone who has been a guest on here. It's not going away permanently. I'm sure I will do a Doom thing here and there because, you know, my persona is still a Doom imp, and this game is never going to fully leave my life. And as long as streaming is a thing, I'm sure at some point I will force it upon y'all's lives as well. But with that, I have been your host, Dragor. This is my fun Broken Hands 3D model. See you all out there. Good luck. And here's to a better 2022. Good night, everybody.